All right, what's up, Porsche gents? New product, new tool for all of us, very similar to what Porsche uses in the factory from the videos I've seen. We can now have it at home. I've been hearing or seeing versions of this for many years, dreaming of a tool that will allow me to take off my center lock without having to get the giant 4-foot long breaker bar out, have to get somebody to hold the brake pedal and do all of that stuff. So I understand I have no business owning one of these, but I want it anyway. And when I first saw, I don't know if it was a Hytorc, but some version of this, of what Porsche used in the factory, it's probably three and a half, maybe 4 years ago. I saw some video somewhere of it. I said, man, whenever that comes out, I want that. So my friends at Dundon Motorsports, so Jamie from Dundon and myself kind of partnered on this together. We both have it in our respective stores, if you will, and we kind of put our heads together after being reached out to from the Hytorc guys. Jamie and Dundon made a video of the first iteration of this, and I immediately commented, got on the phone to Jamie, and we sort of got on the phone with Hytorc and started figuring out our options. So the first video you saw me making was that Hytorc had come out with a new Centerlock nut. The way that this thing works, and I'm going to use it for the very first time, I haven't used this version of it yet, so we're going to fumble through it together. But the way that this type of tool works is you need an opposing force in order to sort of lock down the precise torquing. So there needs to be either a reaction arm like what we're going to be using here, or you need some sort of reaction section of the center lock. Well, these are stock Porsche center locks, which they don't have that. And so there's essentially a locking portion that allows the tool to lock onto and then precisely remove or deflect the torque, I guess you could say. Probably not using the right engineering terms, but I think you get what I'm saying. The concern that both Jamie and I had, and pretty much all of you had, was, this is a really precise piece of equipment which Hytorc could easily tackle. But we all know that Porsche is not a huge fan of us modifying things. It's bad enough we're modifying an exhaust. That's a little bit easier to prove than if your wheel fell off and you were using an aftermarket center lock. You're on your own. And so we got on the phone, started discussing with Hytorc. The cost of those center locks was rising, the ability to produce the things. And so we've decided to go back to I guess you could call this a safe version of a reaction arm, because a traditional reaction arm is this, which you obviously wouldn't want a metal reaction arm touching these are a Vossen Tag Motorsports wheel. So it's a collaboration between Tag Motorsports and Vossen, which they're no longer able to make. I think they got a cease and desist from Porsche because they look too much like Porsche wheels. But these are $2,300 a piece. And certainly don't want to be nicking it up with a metal reaction arm. And so when I got this from Hytorc, when they sort of said, we don't know about the whole center lock idea, maybe in the future, I got it and I immediately said, absolutely not. I'm not interested in it. But then, Jamie has been doing some serious testing. They have Porsches with center locks coming through the shop daily, and I have watched all their content. We've been sharing content back and forth with their techs using it, and I think it's I know it's a viable option. So we've decided to commit to it. So I had to buy $70,000 minimum of these to get it. So I'm making the commitment, hoping that some of you buy it. So here's what you're going to get. And we'll go through all the parts and pieces and tools I have here. So this is your socket that's part of that comes with the car. And then this is your pick tool that actually fits in the socket. You've seen me over the years, kind of pull this out of the car so it's up here in the frunk underneath the, right near the battery, underneath the plastic. You pull this sucker out, you're going to reuse this. So the Hytorc doesn't come with that. The magic of this is that it could technically also work for a McLaren or a Ferrari or some other car that was Centerlocked as well, as long as it has a 3/4 inch, it's a 3/4 inch anvil, which is a 3/4 inch style socket. So you need your socket, you need your pick tool of some sort in order to get access to the Centerlock. So then it comes with this reaction arm, and let me take this thing off. I have the right size here. Figures, freaking SAE, isn't it? It is. God dang it. Okay, we went and got the SAE. It's a, in case you're wondering, it's a 3/32 figures. So you saw the little thing here, this little hex locking pin, how you lock it on. So get this reaction arm. Now this is delrin. Now I thought about, and one of the reasons why I haven't been experimenting as much as the Dundon guys is I wanted to figure out some way to protect this. And so I bought a bunch of gaffer's tape and some felt stuff, and it always deflects. So I think the smartest thing to do here, I mean, this is a softer plastic. I guess I'm not saying that correct because it's a very dense, hard plastic, but it's a smooth, let's say smooth plastic. I'm looking for the right words here. I'm going to fumble through this. I haven't been using this for 10 years. I just got it. So this is actually going to, and you'll see at the speed that this thing moves, that it touching the surface of the wheel, it's not going to, and remember, I'm the guy, I'm the crazy guy. And if I'm okay with this touching my $10, $12, $15,000 wheels, you'll be fine. We've also, Jamie has tested this a bunch on magnesium wheels too, and we're good. So you get the reaction arm, you get the tool. And the tool doesn't look, this is not Milwaukee fit and finish. This is like made for, nuclear power plants stuff. This is their this is like their entry-level tool. They don't make $5,000 tools very often. They're making $20, $30, $80, $100,000 tools. And so this is about calibration and precision. And we'll have, coming up here in the next 6 or 8 months as we get these things rolling, we'll work with Hytorc to make sure we publish the maintenance plan. You want to send the tool in and have it calibrated. We'll have a whole system where we'll send you a label and a return label and all that stuff, and we'll be able to send these into Hytorc and have them calibrated regularly. I mean, if you're going to spend $5,000, then spend a couple $100 to have it calibrated. And most of us, like in my case, I plan on doing it maybe once every 18 months or something like that. It really just depends on how much you're using it. You're a track guy, I would say, once every 6 months, send it in. We'll get formal recommendations from Hytorc on exactly when to service it. But you can see here, it's been calibrated. It was calibrated on September 21st, 2021. And so it'll have a calibration sticker attached to it. And you get a single battery, and it's a pretty darn light battery. It's not as heavy as the Milwaukee stuff. I mean, the amount you're going to be using this, you don't need a big, giant, heavy, substantial battery. And I don't think you need 2 batteries. We can get you another one if you need to. So I chose, in order to keep the cost under control, was to let's just do a single battery in our kit. And so that's what we have here. And so then you have your reaction arm gear set, and that's where our reaction arm will attach to. If you had like an 18-wheeler or some big truck or something, you could probably use this, something you didn't care about. But it is going to come with a metal reaction arm. You may find something to use that for precision torquing in the future. But really, for our purposes, we need the delrin, the larger arm. You get the transformer and battery charger, which is, again, fit and finish of, remember, we're taking industrial grade, where industry doesn't care about any fluff. They care about precision, they care about function. You know, I'm a form guy, right? I'm buying a darn race car and driving to the Publix to get a Publix sub and some Target trips. And so the fit and finish of this, you know, I want to set your expectations properly. We've asked these guys that are in the industrial world to cater to us wannabes, if you will. Maybe you track junkies aren't wannabes, but I know I'm a wannabe, and I just want to set your expectations on what you're going to get. Your $5,000 is getting you precision. It's not getting you pretty. So don't get too excited when you get this and it looks like some guy handmade it, you know, in the back of some major production facility, because that's what it sort of feels like. I don't know, the Hytorc guys will get mad at me for saying that, but it's the real, it's the truth. And so here's your gun. You know, it's probably put it on the scale. It's, you know, 15 pounds. It's not light. Throw the reaction arm. It's do some curls here. What do you think, Mike? What do you think? How's my pump looking? It's yeah, I'd say it's like, you know, 12, 13 pounds. We'll go put it on a scale and get your exact measurement for you. But be prepared. The thing is substantial. It's certainly not light. And the reaction arm weighs about as much as the gun does. And then you get this, which doesn't really help you much, but you get the case, and the case holds the battery, the charger, and the gun, but it doesn't hold the reaction arm. This comes with it, but you're probably not going to use it. We're probably going to take it out of this and put it in a, you know, track bag of some sort, Sonic bag or a Milwaukee bag or something like that. You'll probably put it in, I would guess, if you're traveling around. And I think that's all you get. You get the manual, which you're not really going to use very much. Hopefully I don't need to consult the manual here. We're going to find out in a second. And that's what you get for $49.95. I get it. It's a stinger. We got to pay for precision. We hammered them, by the way, on the pricing of this. I think list pricing is like $5,600 or something like that. Just the software alone, the Porsche software that we need for this, the 600 Newton meter or 440 foot-pound software is like $800 or something, the preloaded software. So if you ever find any of these online and it looks the same and they're $4,000, which we had the same question, like, well, we found this thing, it doesn't come with the software, doesn't come with a reaction arm, doesn't come with a charger. Or if it does come with a charger, it doesn't come with the right software. And so don't get too excited when you start Google searching and try to save yourself $300. It's going to end up costing you $1,500 more because you're not going to have what you need in order to do the thing. So we fought that fight for you so you wouldn't have to do it. So I think this is like the Porsche starter kit, what you'd need. I actually have, I'm mad, I plan on doing this. I have a much cooler looking Sonic 3/4 inch impact that I would use, but this is the Precision Instruments one. So this is what I normally would use to break the thing loose. I'm also going to use this to check the torque. I have never had this thing calibrated. I've had it since, let's see, when did I get my blue 991.1? I got in 2000, was it October 2014. I've had the same thing and I haven't had it calibrated. I don't even know what to do, where I would send it to get calibrated, so I'm not 100% sure. The Hytorc I know, and hopefully it can eliminate my use of this. You need some Castrol anti-seize, which are optimal paste. We're not going to use it here today, but you would want that. And then you can get these, so I think Renline has it. This is the Edgard, or no, not Edgard. Edgard makes the protectors. This is Smokin' GTS on Renlist. Makes some of these out of delrin, CNC delrin. So that's your Centerlock guide. And then now we're adding this. So all this stuff is less than $1,000, and now I'm adding a $5,000 monstrosity to the deal. So let's put this thing back on. The other thing I want to talk to them about is, can I get a pin detent? Can I get a pin on this? So that, because the problem is, so we lock that on, but the problem is my socket isn't attached at all. So I'm gonna have to make sure I hold the machine on so it doesn't fall off, but I would like to have a detent there so you can, detent like this here. I'm gonna drop this thing. So there's your anvil, in case you're wondering, the pin, which you have to get a little pick to push on to take the socket back off, but then it locks it on the unit. All right, so let's do this. Let me move this thing out of the way here so you can see what's going on, and let's do the job. So the front wheel is, I'm gonna say the hardest, but the one where you need some help. You need someone to hold on to the steering wheel, and you need to depress the brake. And so what I've done in the past is I've, you know, and I learned this from the guys on Renless back in the day, but I take a long clamp and flip the one side around and then put a towel on your seat, use that to clamp on the brake pedal, and then just try your best to not have the steering wheel turn while you're messing with it. It tends to work pretty well. But this should afford me the ability to not have to do any of that crap. And then, you know, lower the risk of me smacking and knocking my mirror off the car or something like that. So I'm gonna take off my RS, same thing with GT3, same thing with Centerlocks on a Carrera S or something like that. So I'm gonna pop this thing off. I just take this little puppy, stick it in the hole where, in the little detent area. I mean, you like that word today, it's the word of the week. And I turn and flip the thing and pop it out. Now I make sure when I put this thing back in, don't make a mistake. You've got the little T here, the little thing that pushes in. You have to line that up with a little pocket in order to be able to push the thing back in place like that. So take this, go like that. Don't have to pry or pull, and I just push backwards and it pops out nice and cleanly where I don't mess anything up. And here's my safety lock, which is why you need the Porsche socket specifically, because this fits strategically right into the socket area and locks on. So I guess we don't have to worry too much. The thing will lock on there on its own. And then, how do I get the thing off? I don't remember. Okay, so let's turn our machine on. Now this is the first time I'm doing this on this machine, or second time. Press any button to turn it on. This thing's freaking heavy, man. I'm telling you. It's gonna feel like 5,000 bucks. There you go, 443 foot-pounds. And then you choose, do I wanna loosen, which is this little knob and little notch down here, or do I wanna tighten? That's it, that's all I need to know. I'm never gonna do anything else with this machine, so if you wanna know more, read the frickin' manual and figure it out yourself, because I don't care. I'm using this for one specific purpose, and that's to take my center lock off. Now again, this is my first go with my not replaceable anymore, beloved. This is the only wheels that I've ever really loved on this car. R101s look nice too. But here we go. So I'm gonna put this thing in here. How do I get this thing locked on here? I don't remember how that works. I guess I gotta get this thing off of here. How does that work? Because I don't have the head on here. I locked this thing on. I don't recall ever doing that before. Well, maybe someone will help me on this. It's not good. I'm not doing a good job selling you here. I've done this 100 times, but I've never done it where I just put the socket on first. Anyway, we'll figure that out in a second. I just don't recall this thing ever locking on there. I don't think it's supposed to do this. My freaking phone's ringing. Get out of here. Idiot. There we go. I just needed to pull. God dang it. Idiot. Okay, don't do that. See, I'm the master at showing you what not to do. And I got big enough balls to own up to it, so screw you. Most of you are never even gonna have a car like this, so suck it. Okay, so now we can put this thing on and let's figure out how to do this the right way. I need to find a combination. Okay, there we go. So now, remember we're going loosen. So we hold this on here. I'm just gonna, you make sure your fingers are not anywhere nearby. And now I don't want to let go of the trigger. Oh, you have to do something else. You have to do this plus, yeah, push any button to start. So freaking cool. The wheel didn't move, I didn't have to do anything. Now you could sit here and hold it and have it remove it completely, We just want to make sure we get it loosened up enough to where then I can just turn it the rest of the way by hand, which should be there. So I can turn it, pull my thing off, pull that off, idiot. I'm here for your entertainment value. Now my center lock is good to go. I just have to push this in and turn it the rest of the way, you know, to get it off. So I could use my socket, just turn it. Just so I don't have to see, yeah, I guess it does just pull straight out. So let's assume I took the wheel off, I did whatever I was doing, mounting, balancing, fixing the brakes, changing the brake fluid, whatever I was doing. Now I want to reinstall it. We see this, my initial reaction, I'm sure yours is the same, is, Matt, you freaking idiot, you can't do this thing touching your wheel. I'm telling you, it's so precise. I mean, you saw that, there wasn't like any smack of the wheel, or it wasn't like, it doesn't like bang into place. It slowly, gently, very controlledly goes and puts itself into position, doesn't damage anything. Okay, so this is the only thing that's a little clunky, and to get it on there. Okay, so now I want to tighten. So I'm going to switch this to here. I have it, I think it's 440. Is it 443? I think it's 400. It's either 442 or 443, something like that. So I've got it on my center lock. Now I've got to hold the thing until it's done. So watch the reaction arm here. It's not going to go crazy. I think the reaction arm is going to go down, if I remember correctly. So I'm going to push the trigger, push the button. So see, my reaction arm barely even moved. This is the freaking change your life moment here, man. This is so cool. You know me, I don't fake enthusiasm. There we go, 443 foot-pounds. Now, the procedure, so what I could have done is just, so it didn't take so long, is if I had tightened it as much as I could by hand or with a, with a socket, get it, 90% of the way there in, it wouldn't take as much effort. So now Porsche procedure is to back this off a quarter turn. So a quarter turn and a half turn. I think it's 60 degrees, so it's like a little more than quarter turn. And so what I want to do in order to follow the procedure properly, by the way, Porsche, I don't know why, maybe someone can explain this in the comments, but they recommend, or there's not a recommendation, it's an absolute, that to break the center locks loose or to tighten, the car needs to be in the air, up in the air. Now remember before, if I was using that big breaker bar, I'd have to have somebody standing on the brakes in there. I haven't had to do any of that. No one's hiding out in the car. But so I need to go back to loosen, and I'm going to back it off, I'm going to just look at like center lock here. So the E in center lock needs to come down to like somewhere down here or something like that. So I'm going to loosen, push the button. There's my quarter turn. I'm going to go back to tighten. Press any button. That is so freaking awesome, dude. So remember, and I'm sure some of you are going to get all bent. You're only saying this because you're selling it. I'm telling you. When I first got this thing, I got like physically, visibly angry. Like I thought we were doing the Centerlocks, not this freaking reaction arm junk. I'm like, there's no way this is touching my car. I'm telling you, keep this clean. Make sure you clean the surface of your wheel. I probably should have done that. I didn't do that, but the wheel's already pretty darn clean here. And I'm an idiot. I thought it locked on there. And it's so precise and so slow that it just kind of touches. It just barely kind of, you saw that it kind of goes in and just taps, just touches the wheel real quickly. So I want to go, let's do this while I'm here. I want to go check all the torque on all my wheels so that I have precise torque instead of me, Matt Mormon, jank torquing it on this old junky Precision Instruments thing. So we talked about, I'm not sure why, I'll get some clarification on this, but we had talked about the reaction arm, or not, sorry, the software, about it doing the whole Porsche tightening procedure. I'm not sure why, but I mean, I don't think it really matters. I mean, it took 2 seconds to just flip and watch it. But when we demoed the Centerlock version of the software, when they were doing their Centerlock nuts, it would torque it. You keep holding the button, it would back it off. Keep holding the button, and then it would re-torque it. This, we have to do it manually on our own. I'm not sure why, but we'll ask that. We'll get that clarification. And I don't think it really matters, but maybe you could help me justify the 5,000 bucks if it did it all itself for me. Okay, so I'm gonna loosen. Hold it. So Mike, watch the reaction arm here. Let's see if it, see if it scares anybody. Again, I should wipe the darn wheel off, but it's clean. So, not that big a deal. So back it off to there. Let's go to tighten, 443 foot-pounds. Hold the button. I'm in love. I'm so in love. So then we'll back it off. So I'm gonna take the center lock and have it come to over here, the E. Actually, let me just have the loosen come to the other side. It's so good. Oh, where have you been all my life? Uh-oh, I let go of the button a second too early. So let's redo that. So, good, you were troubleshooting it while we're talking here. Let's do a retorque. So when you're loosening, it's no big deal, but you gotta make sure you don't let go of the button early like I did. Yeah, don't let go of the button early or it won't back off and it'll keep the torque on the reaction arm. That, people, I just happen to get to be the guy to sell the thing. I'm telling you, I'm freaking telling you. I'm not selling you, I'm telling you. This is incredible. I'm gonna go do the rest of my wheels. God dang it, that is so cool. Complete, frivolous, unnecessary. I'm gonna use this thing a couple of times a year, but I don't care. I mean, I bought this freaking car for gosh sakes. So I would have had this from day one. I spent the 5,000 bucks on the thing, and I've had 1, 2, 3. I've got a forthcoming Centerlock car. So in 5, 6, 7, coming up on 7 years, I would have, had, 4 cars, 5 cars. I would have had more if they would have let me have them. And I'd use this thing, at least several times a year, 3, 4, 5 times a year. Now, if you're at the track, forget it. You're swapping tires all the time, and you're not getting all sweaty and having someone hold the brake pedal down. And you probably spent 5,000 years on tires, for gosh sakes, or more. Oh man, I'm telling you, you want this thing, no question. I didn't know that I was going to want it this badly. What got me excited, I was apprehensive to do this because I still wasn't 100% on the delrin on this touching my wheel. And I watched the Dundon video last night, and I started to get super excited. I need to get in here and shoot this video immediately today. I've been procrastinating on this, yeah, let's do the other wheels. I can't believe I feel like an idiot for fighting this. Why was I fighting this? I have no fears now at seeing the speed at which it moves. You have more chance of messing it up while you're putting it on because it's kind of heavy. You just have to find the spot that works. Dang it. Am I doing something here? Is this thing going in? Oh, that's why. Why is my safety? So what do you do when this happens? I have to put the e-brake on? I wonder if you have to engage the e-brake to do the rear. So clearly for me, tightening up the other side, it locked the hub here. I keep holding it like I need to muscle it, but I really don't. I may have to just drive around the block because my safety is locked on. Is it from me tightening the other side while the e-brake on? I don't think so, because the wheel doesn't move at all. I don't really want to get a hammer out. And my pin is locked in there tight. My centering pin is locked on there. Hope that's not a sign of a problem. Let me try this. Put this thing on the ground. This would be a good thing to answer. Let me tighten the other side first. Well, while I got it up in the air, let's do this one. And then we'll see if we can fix that one. Hopefully I don't have like a seized center lock. Uh-oh. Is it that the center lock's on too tight? Figuring all the problems here. I think this might be on too tight. Oh, there's a hole here that you need to make sure you put this thing in, which I didn't. That's why I do this stuff. I mess it up so that you don't have to. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to get this thing loosened up. So it must be exceeding. I wonder if I can jack it up to 700 foot-pounds to get it off. I don't know that loosening. Yeah, it's just on way too tight. So let's put the car on the ground. Let's try to fix this one and that one. I'm going the right way, right? Loosen. Okay. All right, so that's good. So this is the magic of doing this kind of stuff, is we figure it out. And then we can go back to Hytorc and ask them, what the heck am I doing wrong here? I would think this thing would have the ability to remove a bunch of torque. So I should never have this problem again of over torquing the thing, because it will be precisely torqued from here on out. So I'm going to loosen. Yeah, it was just way over torqued. I must have done that myself. I bet you my precision instruments isn't that precise anymore. By the way, you can set that. It's the back off 5 degrees. So I wonder, switch back to loosen. Oh, I gotta let go of the trigger. loosen. Bring it around the quarter turn. There we go, tighten. Done. That one's fixed. And we only have that one, so I think that's the way to go. Maybe that's better to not have a pin detent, so then I can pull the socket out separately without hitting any of the plastic on my wheel. I just got to figure out what to do about my locked-on center lock there. All right, so yeah, I'm excited. This is fantastic. I'll put in the comments when I figure out how to, you know, get that other center lock. I bet you if I drive around the block, it'll probably loosen up. That pin is stuck there. I put a call into Jamie and Charles at Dundon and ask them if they can tell me. But these are available for pre-order in the store, depending on when you're watching this, or we have them in stock. I intend to stock these. The first 20 are in transit. We're expecting, if you're watching this video today, 30 to 45 days, something like that, and then we should have them in stock in the future. This is the way to go. I don't even want the center lock version. I just want this. This is perfect, absolutely perfect. So this, just keep this delrin, keep this the reaction arm clean, and you shouldn't have to mess with it. Keep your battery charged. Take this thing with you and to the track or wherever you're going, and you have turned the center lock into more precise, much quicker to remove and easier to deal with, which, you know, center locks can be problematic if you're, you know, especially if you can't muster up 400 foot-pounds. Like I say, you only weigh $150, you're gonna have a hard time pushing down hard enough in order to get the thing off the wheel. The other thing I'm going to suggest is that when you do your car, you get one of these for the first time, just go and redo them all. You notice in the front there that I had that thing torqued down so tightly that clearly it wasn't torqued to spec. So it's a good thing I fixed that. But yeah, these puppies are super legit. I don't know if I can say it's worth every penny, but for many of us, I think it will be worth every penny and then some. So anyway, thanks for watching, and thanks for your support. Go to obsessedgarage.com. We'll put a link in the description of where to get the product and a card, you know, up in the upper right-hand corner. You can go and put your place in line. These should be here in a month or so. Would be my expectation. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.